Delve into the opulence of Asia's richest nation, where the extraordinary practice of men having multiple wives simultaneously is a part of everyday life. This country is Saudi Arabia, situated on the Arabian Peninsula. Known not only for its expansive golden sand dunes, but also for its deep cultural heritage and unique legal system, Saudi Arabia stands out as a land of contrasts and riches. Remarkably, it is the only country in the world devoid of any rivers. Discover 15 captivating facts about this intriguing nation, where wealth and tradition merge seamlessly. Dear friends, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel to support the team making this video. Thank you very much. Number 15. Men can have 4 wives at once. In Saudi Arabia, the prospect of having multiple wives is not just a fantasy, but a legal reality. Under Sharia law, a Muslim man can marry up to 4 wives, provided he has the financial means to support them all and treat them equally. Polygamy is deeply ingrained in Saudi tradition and is an integral part of Islamic culture. However, behind the allure of having a household with 4 wives, there are many hidden complexities and lesser-known aspects. Historically, polygamy was seen as a practical solution to several societal challenges, including ensuring women's security, preserving family lineage, and addressing gender imbalances. The Saudi government once endorsed polygamy as a means to increase the population and reduce the number of single women. For some wealthy men, taking additional wives served as a display of social status and prosperity. However, maintaining a household with multiple wives and numerous children requires significant financial resources, often leading to conflicts, jealousy, and familial discord. Additionally, not all women are willing to share their husbands, facing considerable societal and familial pressure. In recent years, the Saudi government has introduced measures to curb the practice of polygamy. Men now need to prove their financial capability to support multiple wives and children before being granted permission to marry more. Furthermore, courts can deny further marriages if the man fails to provide a valid reason. Today, polygamy is not as prevalent in Saudi Arabia as it once was. Influenced by globalization and modern values, many young Saudis increasingly view monogamy as a more practical and fair approach. Many young women prefer the idea of an equal and harmonious marriage, rejecting the notion of their husbands marrying other wives. Despite its legality, polygamy remains a subject of debate and evolving attitudes within the kingdom. Number 14. Ban men from selling women's underwear. In Saudi Arabia, men are forbidden from selling women's underwear, a regulation that has ignited international discussion. This measure, rooted in the aim of protecting women from potential harassment, aligns with traditional beliefs deeming it improper for men to handle women's intimate apparel. The objective is to ensure women's safety and comfort while shopping. Advocates of the ban assert that it fosters gender equality within the business sphere, enabling Saudi women to shop for lingerie with increased confidence and reduced embarrassment. This prohibition has also created numerous employment opportunities for women in lingerie stores, thereby enhancing their income and overall quality of life. Consequently, there has been a significant shift, with more women preferring to shop in-store rather than online, appreciating the comfort of interacting with female sales staff. However, detractors argue that this regulation is outdated and infringes upon men's business freedoms. They contend that it inconveniences consumers, particularly men, and could potentially limit the growth of the retail lingerie market in Saudi Arabia. This prohibition, therefore, stands at the intersection of tradition and modernity, prompting discussions on its implications for gender roles and business practices in contemporary Saudi society. Number 13. Women are forbidden from opening the door. In Saudi Arabian households, a discreet yet stringent custom dictates that women must retreat from view whenever male visitors arrive. This practice is deeply embedded in the country's rigorous Islamic traditions, which require women to cover their faces and dress modestly. Women are strictly prohibited from appearing before male guests, and if communication is necessary, it must be conducted via phone or other indirect means. To enforce this rule, many homes in Saudi Arabia are architecturally designed with dual entrances, one for men and one for women. When a male guest visits, He uses the male entrance and is greeted by the male host, while the women remain out of sight. If they need to communicate or make a request, they do so through a phone or similar indirect methods. This custom is based on the belief that Saudi women symbolize purity and chastity, necessitating protection from the eyes of unfamiliar men to maintain their virtue and prevent any inappropriate conduct. By keeping women hidden, the temptation is believed to be reduced, thus preserving social order and reinforcing traditional gender roles. While this regulation may introduce some challenges, particularly in terms of communication and social participation, it reflects the country's deep-seated commitment to its cultural and religious values. This practice underscores the significance placed on maintaining respect, purity, and traditional roles within Saudi society. Understanding these customs provides insight into the distinctive and complex culture of one of Asia's most affluent nations. Number 12. Women are prohibited from driving and participating in public transportation. For many years, Saudi Arabia was infamous for its rigid gender-based restrictions, with the prohibition on women driving being one of the most striking symbols of gender inequality and a blatant restriction on personal freedom. This ban, which commenced in 1990, was justified under the pretext of protecting women and preserving tradition, yet it encountered significant opposition both within the kingdom and globally. For decades, this restriction represented a formidable barrier to women's social and economic advancement. Women in Saudi Arabia also faced severe limitations in using public transportation. Lacking the freedom to drive, they often had to rely on male guardians or private drivers, which drastically curtailed their independence. The landscape began to shift in 2018 when the driving ban was finally lifted, a triumph achieved through persistent advocacy and struggle. This pivotal change granted women the ability to obtain driving licenses and utilize public transportation more freely. However, significant challenges persist. Many women still require international driving licenses, and in some circumstances, male supervision remains necessary while driving. This juxtaposition of newfound freedom and residual control highlights the enduring struggle for complete autonomy. The history of the driving ban in Saudi Arabia not only underscores the pervasive issues of gender inequality, but also illuminates the extensive efforts still required to achieve genuine social progress. The lifting of the ban marked a significant milestone, yet it is merely one facet of the broader challenge that women face in the kingdom. Number 11. Women must have a guardian in all cases. In Saudi Arabia, millions of women face a daily reality where their ability to travel, study, work, or seek medical care hinges on the permission of a male guardian. Governed by Sharia law, women require the consent of their father, husband, brother, or adult son for any activity outside the home. This system serves as an invisible cage, severely limiting their ambitions and dreams. The simple pleasure of exploring new cultures and the world remains unattainable for many Saudi women. Educational pursuits and personal growth are fraught with obstacles, as women depend on their guardian's approval for academic endeavors. Career aspirations and the desire to contribute meaningfully to society often remain distant dreams when employment opportunities are inaccessible without male consent. Even in healthcare, women must obtain their guardian's permission to receive medical treatment. Advocates of the guardianship system claim it safeguards women from societal risks and preserves traditional values, viewing it as a crucial aspect of their culture. However, this raises the question: is restricting women's freedom a valid means of protection? Does confining them to a metaphorical cage truly ensure their happiness and safety, or does it merely reinforce male dominance, hinder women's progress, and uphold an outdated social order? Despite recent reforms in Saudi Arabia, such as allowing women to drive, participate in certain sports, and hold leadership positions, the guardianship system largely remains intact. The journey towards gender equality in Saudi Arabia continues to be long and fraught with challenges. Number 10. No public displays of affection and no Valentine's Day. In Saudi Arabia, public displays of affection and Valentine's Day celebrations are strictly forbidden. As a deeply traditional Muslim nation, The country enforces prohibitions against actions such as hugging, kissing, holding hands, and even walking closely together. The nationwide ban on Valentine's Day stems from its perceived contradiction to Islamic values. For visiting couples, this can be a startling and disheartening revelation. The Committee for the Promotion of Virtue and Prevention of Vice, commonly referred to as the religious police, rigorously enforces these regulations. They have conducted raids on shops selling Valentine's Day merchandise, confiscated items, and imposed fines on store owners. Despite recent efforts toward modernization, this strict adherence to cultural and religious norms remains steadfast. In Saudi Arabia, overt displays of affection are considered inappropriate and disruptive. Tourists must comply with these regulations or risk severe penalties, including fines of up to $800, arrest, and even deportation. While these measures aim to preserve social norms and safeguard women, they often leave tourists feeling restricted and uneasy. These controversial regulations curtail personal freedom, making it difficult for visitors to express affection. The ambiguous interpretation of what constitutes excessive emotional expression can lead to misunderstandings, creating a hesitant and constrained experience for those exploring Saudi Arabia. Number 9. No shorts and women must cover up. In the heart of Saudi Arabia, dress codes are a profound reflection of the nation's cultural and religious fabric, grounded in Islamic traditions. These regulations are especially rigorous for women, who are required to don the abaya, a flowing black robe that covers the body from neck to feet. In addition to the abaya, many women wear headscarves to cover their hair and neck, and in the most conservative areas, they may opt for a niqab, a veil that leaves only the eyes visible. These customs are deeply rooted in interpretations of modesty and religious observance, varying in enforcement across the country. The introduction of the Public Decency Law in 2019 underscores the importance of modest attire for all. Men are advised to dress conservatively, steering clear of shorts and tank tops. Although men are not required to cover specific body parts, they are encouraged to wear attire that aligns with the principles of modest dress. For women, the rules are more stringent, necessitating that shoulders and knees be covered in public. While female tourists are not mandated to wear the traditional abaya, they are expected to dress in a manner that is modest and respectful of local customs. Saudi Arabia is witnessing a slow but noticeable shift towards more relaxed dress codes for both men and women. This transition, while gradual, marks a significant cultural evolution. Recent reports from Human Rights Watch highlight that the enforcement of these dress codes has become more lenient, affording women greater autonomy in their public attire. Men, too, are experiencing a relaxation of the stringent dress guidelines, moving towards a more open and contemporary approach. Number 8. Prohibition on loud music and dancing. For those who find joy in music and spirited dancing, Saudi Arabia presents a unique challenge. The country enforces strict laws that ban dancing and loud music in public spaces, particularly during prayer times. This unexpected restriction often baffles visitors, prompting curiosity about its origins. The prohibition is rooted in the conservative principles upheld by the National Committee for Drug Control under Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Interior. The committee posits that provocative dancing is associated with drug use and undermines moral and cultural values. This strict stance was notably highlighted when Abdallah al-Shahani, a prominent figure, was arrested after a video of him dancing in the rain at a music festival went viral. Similarly, in October 2019, a woman faced legal trouble for dancing at a concert in Riyadh, exemplifying the government's tight regulation of entertainment. Moreover, the restriction on loud music is deeply tied to cultural norms emphasizing respect and order. With 5 daily prayers each lasting about 20 minutes, minimizing entertainment activities, including music, ensures a serene and solemn environment. Tourists who breach these regulations face fines of $133 for violations outside of prayer times and $266 during prayer times. These stringent rules often leave visitors feeling constrained, believing that such measures infringe upon personal freedom and diminish their travel experience. While some argue that the ban is excessively harsh, Others contend that it maintains cultural respect and public order. Number 7. Sunni Islam and exclusive citizenship for Muslims. In Saudi Arabia, the heartland of Sunni Islam, religion is the cornerstone of every facet of life. As the birthplace of Islam and the custodian of its holiest cities, Mecca and Medina, Saudi Arabia's religious significance is unparalleled. The state religion, Sunni Islam, dictates the kingdom's laws and societal norms with unwavering authority. Each year, millions of Muslims from around the globe converge on the kingdom for the Hajj pilgrimage, underscoring Saudi Arabia's central role in the Islamic world. Under Saudi law, only Muslims are recognized as citizens, a policy rooted in the government's commitment to preserving the country's Muslim identity. This regulation, however, is not without controversy. Critics argue that it discriminates against individuals of other faiths, calling for equal treatment regardless of religious belief. Additionally, this law poses significant challenges for foreigners seeking to marry Saudi citizens. Conversion to Islam is a prerequisite for citizenship, compelling many to grapple with the difficult choice between their religious convictions and their personal relationships. Number 6. Homosexuality and gender reassignment surgery are illegal. In Saudi Arabia, the rigid adherence to conservative Islamic Sharia law influences various facets of personal and social conduct. Among these is the stringent prohibition of homosexuality and gender reassignment surgery. Engaging in such activities is deemed illegal and can attract harsh penalties ranging from imprisonment and fines to corporal punishment or even the death penalty. Human rights organizations like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have extensively documented the severe repercussions faced by LGBTQ individuals in the country, underscoring the rigorous enforcement of these prohibitive laws. Number 5. 95% sand, no rivers. In the heart of Saudi Arabia lies an expansive desert realm, with a staggering 95% of its territory covered in sand. This kingdom, often associated with its oil wealth, offers an awe-inspiring landscape of golden dunes under clear blue skies, reminiscent of scenes from epic desert films. One cannot help but be captivated by the Rub al-Khali, the world's largest continuous sand desert, spanning over 650,000 square kilometers and occupying nearly a quarter of the nation. Its golden sands, stretching endlessly, form towering dunes that rise like miniature mountains against the vast sky. Beneath this sea of sand lies a trove of ancient ruins, hidden treasures, and secrets of natural history, waiting to be unearthed by determined archaeologists. The deserts of Saudi Arabia are a testament to unique and unspoiled beauty. Adventurers can partake in camel riding, dune bashing, and camping under a star-studded sky, while stargazers can marvel at the clarity of the night. The Bedouin nomads, who have thrived in this harsh environment for centuries, offer a glimpse into a rich cultural heritage that contrasts sharply with the modern wealth seen in Saudi cities. This juxtaposition creates a unique allure, blending the vibrancy of urban life with the mystique of the desert. Despite its arid environment, Saudi Arabia's relationship with water is intriguing. The nation boasts long coastlines along the Red Sea and the Arabian Gulf, yet it has no natural rivers. With annual rainfall averaging between 4 to 8 inches and high evaporation rates, river formation is impossible. However, Saudi Arabia prospers through the use of groundwater, desalinated seawater, and seasonal surface water sources. Recognizing the crucial importance of water, the country invests heavily in advanced desalination technologies, efficient irrigation systems, and public awareness campaigns on water conservation. Number 4. Largest oil reserves in the world. Saudi Arabia stands as a colossus in the realm of global oil, boasting the largest reserves on the planet. The nation's odyssey with oil commenced in 1938 with the landmark discovery of the Dammam oil field, drilled at a remarkable depth of 1,240 meters. This discovery marked the beginning of an era where oil and gas would become the backbone of Saudi Arabia's economy. Presently, the kingdom holds nearly 18% of the world's confirmed oil reserves, a staggering total of 266.5 billion barrels, far exceeding those of Venezuela and Canada. Central to this vast reserve is the Gawar Field, a geological marvel containing up to 75 billion barrels of oil, an amount that could fill over 4 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. Yet despite this immense oil wealth, fresh water in Saudi Arabia is more costly than oil due to its scarcity and the significant expenses involved in desalination. The oil industry propels the nation's economy, funding infrastructure and providing millions of jobs. With its enormous reserves and crucial global position, Saudi Arabia is destined to remain a dominant force in the energy sector for the foreseeable future. Number 3. Camels are still big business. In Saudi Arabia, camels remain a cornerstone of a lucrative multi-billion-dollar industry, deeply rooted in the nation's culture and economy. Despite advancements in transportation, these ships of the desert are indispensable in daily Saudi life. The largest camel market in the country, located in Buraida, Al-Qasim province, covers 2 square miles and facilitates the trade of about 100 camels each day. This vibrant market, which springs to life at 6 a.m. every morning, stands as the world's leading camel trading hub, drawing participants from far and wide. Camels have historically been vital to Saudi Arabia, serving as the main mode of transportation across vast deserts and providing essential resources such as milk, meat, and hides. Camel meat is a prized delicacy among locals and tourists alike, while camel hides are transformed into intricate handicrafts. Additionally, Saudi Arabia hosts the illustrious Camel Racing Championship, a grand spectacle attracting thousands. This event, featuring over 2,000 camels racing on a 12-mile track, is a highlight of the national festival of Janadria. The industry, steeped in tradition yet thriving in the modern era, showcases the unique fusion of cultural heritage and economic opportunity in Saudi Arabia. Number 2. 60% of the workforce is foreign. Saudi Arabia, a land enriched with immense oil wealth, promises extraordinary experiences and profound insights. Renowned for its robust economy and high per capita GDP, it presents an image of a luxurious paradise for its citizens. Many Saudis enjoy a lifestyle of opulence that remains out of reach for the majority of people globally. However, beneath this veneer of affluence lies a stark contrast: a significant income disparity between the locals and foreign workers. Annual wages for laborers in Saudi Arabia are considerably lower compared to those in developed countries, making the high cost of living a formidable challenge for many. As a result, locals gravitate towards high-skill, well-paying jobs, leaving a substantial gap in the workforce for less desirable positions. The country's rapid economic expansion has spurred an immense demand for labor, particularly in sectors like construction, services, and manufacturing. Unable to meet this demand domestically, the Saudi government turns to foreign labor, predominantly from nations such as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the Philippines. These foreign workers now make up over 60% of the manual labor force, becoming indispensable to the economy. Despite their crucial role, these workers often endure harsh living conditions, face discrimination, and struggle with the emotional toll of homesickness. The reliance on foreign labor underscores the duality of Saudi Arabia's prosperity. While the nation flourishes on the surface, it heavily depends on an underpaid and undervalued workforce to sustain its economic growth. Number 1. Execution of criminals by beheading. In the opulent realm of Saudi Arabia, justice is meted out under the stringent guidelines of Sharia law, which enforces some of the world's most severe punishments. Among these, capital punishment by beheading stands out, reserved for the gravest of crimes such as murder, drug trafficking, and terrorism. In 2019 alone, Amnesty International reported 184 executions carried out by beheading, reflecting the strict adherence to this form of justice. For less severe but still significant crimes like theft and alcohol consumption, flogging is employed. A notable case is that of Raif Badawi, a blogger sentenced to 1,000 lashes in 2015 for his human rights activism. The law also prescribes amputation for theft. A chilling example from 2013 involved a man whose hand was amputated, as reported by the BBC. Despite some recent legal reforms, such as the 2020 abolition of flogging, Saudi Arabia's judicial practices continue to attract international criticism. Organizations like Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International have condemned the kingdom for its harsh penalties, lack of transparency in trials, and the alleged use of torture to obtain confessions. These draconian measures and controversial legal proceedings persist as major issues, casting a shadow over the nation's rich and influential global presence. Dear friends, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel to support the team making this video. Thank you very much.